Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namachara Shakhardas Thakur ki jai, Premsi Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda ki jai, Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Giri Govardhan. All glories to simple devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to simple devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to simple devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaputari Shrimati Radhakrishna Namini. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaputari Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatadeshatarine. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
We continue to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 10, entitled The Trunk, Branches, and Sub-Branches of the Chaitanya Tree. What is the title doesn't state it, it states here. Yes, of the Chaitanya tree. Okay. Texts 95 to 100. And we'll repeat the 100th one. Which one is here?
We can show every like you can scroll and you can show.
Okay. Ita nishchaya kari aila vrindavane asirupa sanatanira vandila charane. Thus Srila Radhaghunath Das Goswami came to Vrindavan, visited Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and offered them his obeisances. Tavedui bhai tanre marite nadila, nija tritiya bhai karin nikate rakila. These two brothers, however, did not allow him to die. They accepted him as their third brother and kept him in their company. 97. Mahaprabhura lila yata bakhira antara, dui bhai tanre mukhe shune nirantara. Because Raghunath Das Goswami was an assistant to Swarup Damodar, he knew much about the external and internal features of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Thus, the two brothers Rupa and Sanatana always used to hear of this from him. 98. Anajala Tyaga Kaila Anya Katana Paraduitina Mata Karina Bhakshana. Raghunath Das Goswami gradually gave up all food and drink but a few drops of buttermilk. Hare Krishna. 99. Sahasra Dandavat Kare Laya Lakshanama Dui Sahasra Vaishnavere Nitya Paranama. As daily duty, he regularly offered 1,000 obeisances to the Lord, chanted at least 100,000 holy names, and offered obeisance to 2,000 Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Now we will repeat. Ratri dine Radha Krishna ra manase sevana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishna manasa sevana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Prakhare Mahaprabhu Charita Kathana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana. Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishna Manasa Sevana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Praharika Mahaprabhu Charita Kathana. Ratri dine Radha Krishna Manasa Sevana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Praharika Mahaprabhu Charita Kathana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishna Manasa Sevana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charitra Katana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishna Manasa Sevana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Kathana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishnera Manasa Sevana.
Ratri dine Radha Krishna Manasa Sevana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Katana.
Praharika Mahaprabhura Charita Kathana.
Ratri
Ratri
dine
dine
day and night.
day and night.
Radha
Radha
Krishnera
Krishnera
of Radha and Krishna.
Of
Radha and Krishna.
Manasa
Manasa
within the mind.
within the mind.
Sevana
Sevana
service.
service.
Praharika
Praharika
about 3 hours.
about 3 hours.
Mahaprabhura
Mahaprabhura
of Lord Chaitanya.
of Lord Chaitanya.
Charitra
Charitra
character.
character.
Katana
Katana
discussing.
discussing.
Day and night he rendered service within his mind to Radha Krishna, and for 3 hours a day he discoursed about the character of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
We have many things to learn about bhajana or worship of the Lord by following in the footsteps of Raghunath Das Goswami. All the Goswamis engaged in such transcendental activities as described by Srinivasacharya in his poem about them. Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartana Parau Premamritam Bo Nidhi. Following in the footsteps of Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, one has to execute devotional service very strictly, specifically by chanting the holy name of the Lord. The translation again. Day and night he rendered service within his mind to Radha Krishna, and for 3 hours a day he discoursed about the character of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Nalita Sri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishamano Sudeli Pranamami Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we have in this part of Chaitanya Charitamrita a discussion about Raghunath Das Goswami. And as we may remember from previous week, we discussed how Raghunath Das Goswami, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya and Swarup Damodar Goswami, who were his protectors, instructor. Raghunath Das Goswami left Jagannath Puri with the idea to visit Vrindavan, to visit these great two sages, Rupa and Sanatana, and then to commit suicide by climbing on the top of Govardhan Hill and throwing down. And here we can see that Rupa and Sanatana didn't allow him to die. And we discussed previous week about that we should understand that even our body is not ours and we don't have a right to destroy it. And Sanatana Goswami was taught about this by Lord Chaitanya himself when he wanted to throw himself under the cart of Lord Jagannath. Yes, and here further description, there is a further description of Raghunath Das Goswami's severe way of living. He gave up all food practically and drank just a few drops of buttermilk. And in this connection, it was very interesting that once Raghunath Das Goswami had a indigestion, although he was drinking just a few drops of buttermilk. And because this was quite painful and not beneficial for his health, the Ayurvedic doctor was called to examine him and find a way to help him. And this doctor said, you eat too much opulent food. Yes, it's too much ghee. And the disciples and the other devotees of Raghunath Das Goswami, they said, you don't know what you're speaking to this doctor. He's practically doesn't eat at all. But Raghunath Das Goswami said to them, what he says is true. In my meditation, I receive prasad of Radha and Krishna, which is very opulent, with full of ghee and so on. But I'm so unfortunate I cannot properly digest it. Jai Shri Gopika ki Jai Shri Radha Parisisvara Mandir, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Gita Gautam. So yes, and we know that Raghunath Das Goswami is our Prayojana Acharya. So the main point here is to understand that we should live in the spiritual world now, like Raghunath Das Goswami had lived in the spiritual world all the time. And here it is said in this particular verse that we have repeated, that day and night he rendered service within his mind to Radha and Krishna. And that was also the instruction that Lord Chaitanya gave him. Yes, Amani Manadakanya, Krishna Nama Sadalava. Always chant the holy name of Krishna in the very humble state of mind. Yes. Amani Manada, we know this from Lord Chaitanya, is also very famous verse. Trinada Pisanichana Turu Vasa Krishna. Amani Namanadina Kirtans. And here he says, Amani Manadakanya, Krishna Nama Sadalava. Always chant the holy name. And Raja Radha Krishna Seva Manasakari. And worship Radha and Krishna in your mind, in Vrindavan. So, as we mentioned also, Prabhupada established Krishna Consciousness movement. So, it's about consciousness. It's not about our external activity. It's consciousness that counts. Krishna is Saragrahi. He accepts the essence. He doesn't accept what we do. Of course, if he accepts also, if we do it in the proper way, he accepts it with grateful heart. But if the consciousness is lacking, if our heart is not there, he doesn't need your activity. We should know this. He doesn't need our endeavor, but our heart is somewhere else, and we hanker for something else. Yes, so this is very important to understand, that our life depends on our consciousness. And this is confirmed also by Lord Krishna in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says, Yam yam vapismaram bhavanti jantyanti kalivaram dantam avetikanta sadata bhavavita. Whatever state of consciousness one has at the time of death, he will without doubt achieve the same state of existence. Yes. So the problem is that people in Kali Yuga are extremely lazy, as confirmed in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. And they are misfortunate and misguided. And so, because of this, and they have cheating propensity. Every living entity has a cheating propensity. So they try to cheat Krishna also. This is natural, actually, in material world. To try to cheat everyone, including ourselves and including Krishna. And the way of cheating Krishna is thinking that the process is mechanical. Yes. What does this mean? We think, yes, if I chant my 16 rounds and follow 4 regulative principles, then I'll go back home, back to Godhead. Regardless of the quality of my chanting and the quality of my following the 4 regulative principles. Yes. I try to, maybe if I'm half sincere, to follow this, if I'm not sincere at all, then I twist some philosophy and further cheat ourselves. Yes, with some excuses why it's not necessary to chant exactly 16 rounds or follow exactly as mentioned Prabhupada's instructions regarding four regulative principles. But even if we follow it without getting absorbed in devotional service, in chanting of the holy names, it's niyamagraha, just following rules for the rules' sake, and not trying to develop love for Krishna, which is our goal. And here we can see in this particular verse that our goal is to achieve this state that Raghunath Das Goswami is teaching us, to day and night worship Radha and Krishna in our heart. Yes, day and night he rendered service within his mind. Yes, Vraja Radha Krishna Seva, Manase Koribe. This is not external, like these Sahajas do, and they dress as gopis. And and I don't know what they do when they go to the toilet. How they are gopis. Yes. So the point is that we should try to get deeper and deeper and deeper in our consciousness, not to remain on the external platform. Even from the beginning, we should cry for Krishna to go deep. Because if we stay on the surface, nothing will change. Nothing will change. We will not wake up one day with love of Krishna, suddenly, from nowhere. This is not the process. Yes. For example, I'm coming from Slovenia, and there are Catholic Christians there. I don't know about France, it's also a Catholic country. And although it's quite atheistic, and I believe France is also atheistic, but still, those who are ordinary Christians, they think, yes, I go with the pious every Sunday to the church, and they live just ordinary material life, but they think I'm good a person, and at the time of death I'll go to heaven. And even devotees have similar idea. Yes, maybe I have problems, but Krishna is merciful. And at the time of death, I'll go back home, back to Godhead. But nowhere it is described that death has a power to change our consciousness. That death has a power to give us love of God. There is not a potency of death itself to change our consciousness. Yes. Yam yam bapismaram bhavanta jantanti kriya tam tam aveti kanta sadat bhava. Whatever state of consciousness one has at the time of death, that he will achieve without doubt. That same state of existence. So no miracle will happen. The death has no power to create miracles. Yes. There is no miracle in death. We should understand this. So if one wants to live in heaven after death, he has to live in heaven now. Yes. And atheists who think, they also think that death has a power to create miracles. they think I exist now, and at the time of death I will exist no more. Yeah. This is also belief in the miracle and the time of death. Yes. That death has a power to completely change their state of existence. It hasn't such power. So if they don't want to exist after death, they shouldn't exist now. Yeah. And if you want to go back home, back to Godhead at the time of death, you should live in the spiritual world now. This is the point. And this is the teachings of all our acharyas. Yes. And Raghunath Das Goswami explicits here, day and night he rendered service. And we mentioned, and I purposely repeat this, that Narottam Das Thakur, who was endowed with love of Krishna by Lord Chaitanya himself, so he received the utmost level of Krishna prema. He said in Prema Bhakti Chandrika that I'm terribly afraid that I will not be able to pass over these obstacles in devotional life. So I pray constantly. I pray constantly. So this should be our position, to pray constantly. Yes. If you don't pray constantly, this is a sign that we have not realized the power of Maya, the power of obstacles to devotional service. Yes. And therefore, Prabhupada said, the problem with you Western devotees is that you don't fear Maya enough. Yes. Yes. So this should be our constant fear. Although we, in our discussion on the qualities, divine qualities, abhayam is the first quality, fearlessness. But proper fearlessness comes from fearfulness, fearfulness of Maya. Then we are fearless of anything else. We are fearless for our existence, because we know that our existence in material world will perish sooner or later. So why should be I afraid now? Yes, because if someone or something is taken away, definitely, it's no doubt that it will be taken away. Why should I attach to this thing? It's a sign of craziness. Yes. So I should attach to something that will never be taken away from me. Yes. Otherwise, I'm crazy. Something will be taken from me, and I cry for this. Yes. So, how this particular section of Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita is connected with our discussion of these qualities, divine qualities. Today we will discuss the quality of dana, or charity. And here we can see that for 3 hours, because he was with Lord Chaitanya and Swarup Damodar Goswami, who was constantly with Lord Chaitanya, he knew a lot about Lord Chaitanya. So he kept all different sages in Vrindavan, including all other 5 Goswamis, alive by these discourses on Lord Chaitanya. So 3 hours a day he discoursed about the character of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is actually the most munificent charity ever possible to discuss the Lord. So, true charity is giving Krishna consciousness to other people. This is true charity. All other types of charity are external, and therefore it is not helpful for anyone really. This external kind of happiness and having things. Therefore, even this distribution of prasadam, we distribute prasadam, we don't distribute food, ordinary food. Because as we know from 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, those who prepare food just for the enjoyment of the body, they eat only sin, personified. So those who feed people, they feed them by sin personified. So this service, one would say. Proper service is to connect people with Krishna, somehow or other. This is proper charity. And that doesn't mean that we shouldn't give charity in material form. At least it appears like material. If it is connected, it's transcendental. If it's connected with Krishna, in devotional service to Krishna, is transcendental. But we should give. And this is also explained in Ram Lila, when Dasharat wanted to perform Ashwamedha Yagya to have sons, the heir for the kingdom. He entrusted Vasishta Muni to prepare everything. And Vasishta Muni gave detailed instruction how this yagya should be performed. And he said that different facilities should be built for guests that they will invite there for the yagya, and that everyone should be lavishly given gifts. And he said something very important. These gifts should be given with pure heart to these people, with intention to make them happy. Even if these gifts are given lavishly, in abundance, if they're given with slight disrespect or even in jest, these gifts will destroy the giver. Understand? If they're not given with proper respect, they will destroy the giver. And Lord Krishna explains in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that this giving of gifts in passion and ignorance is without proper respect. And giving gifts or giving charity in passion is giving with the desire for return, for example. And we can see these different companies give in charity, but because they don't give in charity because of their good heart, but because they don't pay taxes because of this. So it's a good business deal to give in charity. Yes. So they have desire for return, for profit actually. Yes. And if they're given without completely with disregard improper person, improper at an improper time, and so on. Is charity in ignorance. Yes. So, but we should focus on this charity, completely transcendental charity, as Raghunath Das Goswami exhibits here, by discussing Krishna. But we cannot discuss Krishna if our heart is not full of Krishna. Lord Jesus Christ said that whatever is our heart full with, that will our mouth speak. Yes. So whatever we fill our heart, that will come out through our mouth. So this is indication. What we speak about, this is our heart filled with. So we should fill our heart with Krishna katha. Therefore, I mentioned one day here that Prabhupada recommended 3 hours of reading. This is one of the recommendations. At least, he said, 3 hours. and we can see here that Raghunath Das Goswami discussed Lord Chaitanya 3 hours every day. Yes. So this is some measurement that we can take example of Raghunath Das Goswami. Of course, Prabhupada also said at least 1 hour. So we should stick to at least to 1 hour, but try to get more and more absorbed. Once Shanatan Maharaj was in Slovenia, and before the program he went to visit one house of devotees for a lunch. And after lunch, he was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. And although there was a time for him to go to lecture in the temple, he couldn't stop reading. And devotees tried to gently remind him about the time. He was so absorbed in reading that he was late for 2 hours or something for his lecture. Yes, and he was in complete ecstasy reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. So the point of all this discussion and reading and hearing and chanting is to go deep in our relationship with Krishna. This is the whole purpose of our sadhana. The whole purpose of our spiritual life is about going deep, to connect on deeper level with Krishna. Yes. Otherwise, nothing, as I said, is cheating ourselves. Because we believe that Krishna is merciful, and he is merciful. But still, we are still in the material world, although he's merciful. Why is that? Is he just recently become merciful? Or he's eternally merciful? What do you think? Yes, he is eternally merciful, but he fulfills the desires of the conditioned souls. Yes, therefore Prabhupada said, if you have a desire for a chocolate, you will receive a body to consume it. Yes. So we should know the secret. The secret is that spirit is free. Yes. Only because of ignorance, because of avidya, you think we are conditioned. And we are conditioned. But actually, spirit has nothing to do with these conditionings. Spirit is always free. And therefore, everything exists according to our desire. Our current position is according to our desire only, and nothing else. And people, they always complain about their life. Usually, even devotees. They complain about their life, but they don't want to change anything, do they? Do you know anyone who really wants to change their position? I hardly know anyone. They complain about their position, so they are not satisfied, but they don't want to change. Isn't it crazy? Yes, yes, complete madness. So, if we want to develop Krishna consciousness, we have to change our consciousness. It's not enough that only our mouth is chanting. Our heart should also be chanting. It's not enough that our eyes are reading. Our heart should also read and hear. Yes. That we set timer for reading or count pages and verses, how much we have read. Yes. We should connect at all times, 24 hours a day. Day and night he rendered service. Yes, this is our goal. Maybe we cannot achieve it immediately. It's impossible for us. But at least when we are awake, we should try to. Yes. And as Lord Chaitanya instructed Raghunath Das Goswami, Amani Mana Dahanya, with great humility, Yes, pride will not help us develop Krishna consciousness. There was never a time that anyone would achieve Krishna consciousness with pride. No way. And even there is a curse of Advaita Acharya in Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavad, that he asked Lord Chaitanya to give Krishna Prema to everyone, but not those who are proud of anything. Proud of their knowledge, proud of their family lineage, or anything like this. Yes. So they will be deprived of Krishna consciousness. So one should be more humble than a blade of grass. And how it's possible to be more humble than a blade of grass? What do you think? Is it possible? Or is it just some flowery language of Lord Chaitanya?
Associating with devotees who are.
Yes, but then how we are more humble than a blade of grass?
Just like I was thinking, when we walk up on the grass, it doesn't say, yeah, why did you walk up on me? It just bends down. And just like that, we when someone tries to say something or hurt or insult, we just bend down. Okay, you want to slap here? Okay, do also here. Maybe like that.
Yes, this is a good idea. And it's in line with the teachings of great souls like Lord Jesus Christ. Actually, I told this many times, but not here. So I repeat it here. When I was in the primary school, we were taken to see some film, and I forgot all about the film. I just remembered one scene. This scene stuck with me for all my life. It was very fine, very pleasant spring day, sunny day in the springtime. Like now, everything is in bloom. There was a nice meadow with nice grass, and flowers were blooming, and birds were chirping, and sun was shining, blue sky like today. Everything perfect and so nice. And then there was a zoom of camera, went into the grass, and there was bloody war. And one small creature was killing the other. A spider was eating some fly or something. One insect was cutting the other insect in half. And even one blade of grass was fighting against the other blade of grass. So everything was in complete war. Yes. On the surface, it looked so nice, so pleasant. But actually, when one looks closely, you can see just bloody war. Yes. And everything is in conflict, actually, in the material world, on all levels of existence, actually. Why? Because we want to protect our existence. This is the point. Everyone wants to protect his existence. And even the blade of grass wants to protect its existence. So we should become more humble than the blade of grass. We shouldn't try to protect our material existence. We should know that we don't exist on material level. So whatever is happening to me on external level, on the bodily level, is sent by Krishna himself. If we are devotee, we should have this vision, this perception. Yes, Krishna is sending me this particular situation just to help me to surrender deeply to him. So if someone is crushing me, I thank Krishna. I thank Krishna. Yes, you are merciful. Maybe I suffer because of my misdeeds in the past, but thank you for giving me this opportunity to get rectified. This should be our outlook. That doesn't mean that if we see that others are crushed, that we tolerate this. We shouldn't tolerate this. Yes. So we should fight for others, not for ourselves. Therefore, we mentioned this, that we should try not to defend ourselves. This is very difficult, but we should try to have this disposition towards Krishna. And this will help us to go deep in our relationship with Krishna. Because when we fight for our right, then we will not be able to connect with Krishna. And there is some great paradox. Majority of people, if I would ask you, would you like to live in the world of justice or injustice? What would you say? Justice. Who would like to live in the world of justice? Majority of you. But the secret is that we live in the world of justice. This is the world of justice. Yes. Whatever is happening to us is by justice. It's not injustice, it's justice. Actually, we all hanker for mercy and for love. And mercy means that we receive something what we haven't deserved. So this is injustice, actually. We receive something that we haven't deserved. And love also considers this. You give love without cause. This is true love, causeless love. This is without deserving it, actually. So yes, people want to live in the world of justice, but they don't know that they're living in the world of justice. We should rise above the world of justice and enter the world of mercy and love. And this is the true charity, to give people chance to go to the world of mercy and love. Yes, this is true charity. Therefore, this external charity will never help anyone if it is devoid of this spirit. So, even when we give physical charity, and should be given also physical charity. If we are grihastas, we should give to the temple for the mission of spreading Krishna consciousness. Yes. Once my Guru Maharaj said, we should give at least so much that it will pain ourselves. That we feel pain. If you don't feel pain, it's not enough. Then it is sacrifice. Otherwise, it's not sacrifice. If you give as much that you don't feel pain, it's not a sacrifice. So yes, but in any case, our charity should be following our consciousness, and this consciousness should be filled with mercy and love. And if it is not, then our external charity will not do much, will not do much good. So depends on level of our mercy and love that our charity can change anything. So if there is no mercy and love in our heart, especially this transcendental mercy and love, not material conditioned mercy and love, which is misguided and illusioned, but transcendental mercy and love, connection with Krishna, which is established through sadhana. Therefore, strict sadhana is so important. Without strict sadhana, we can never go deep. Yes, never. If we chant our rounds with not focused attention, but at least striving for focused attention, talk during our japa or do anything during our japa, then we'll never connect. We'll never be able to go deep. And if you will just catching our rounds all day long to chant our 16 rounds, we'll never be able to go deep. We'll just cheat ourselves. Then we'll think that someday I will wake up with love, or I will die and go to the spiritual world, back home, back to God. This is craziness. Believe in some miracle. Don't believe in miracles. Of course, you should believe in Krishna's mercy, which is miraculous. But we should give everything to connect with Krishna, to connect with His mercy. Yes. So we should be very strict with our sadhana. And we can see here, Prabhupada also mentioned in the purport to this verse, that one has to execute devotional service very strictly, specifically by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Yes. This is the only spiritual vow that we take at the initiation. We'll chant the holy name at least 16 rounds without offense. Yes. So we should take this process seriously. It's not mechanical process. Remember this. It's not mechanical process. It's Krishna consciousness process. Consciousness doesn't mean mechanical. Consciousness means whatever is in the heart. Hare Krishna. Is there any comment or question or doubt? Yes, please.
Yeah, I have maybe one doubt regarding the time of death. For me, I thought it was always the time of extra mercy. Because for example, in the pastime of Ajamil, it says, Ajamilopi Agadama, Grinan Putrupa Charitam. At the time of death, Ajamil chanted the name of his son, even though he was not thinking about Narayana. Then he obtained the mercy of having another chance. In that way, we can see that Krishna is maybe also merciful through his holy name or through some past bhakti activities. And it's mentioned as well in the Puran that if we did a lot of services in our life, even though we may have difficulties to remember Krishna, Krishna will remember us at the time of death.
Yes.
So, that's just to encourage us as well.
Yes. Thank you very much for this question. It's an extremely important question. You mentioned this verse from 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mriyamano Harir Nama Grinan Tatopacharitan Ajamilo Pegatama Kimuta Shradayagana. So Ajamila said this name at the time of death and he was delivered. What to speak about those who chant the name with faith? Kimuta Shradayagana. Yes. It is explained by our acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that it was not the name at the time of death that liberated Ajamila. But the point is that although he didn't call Krishna by his calling Narayana, he was not pronouncing the name with offense. That was the main point. It was Namabhas. It was not offensive chanting. Therefore, he got another chance And because he chanted the name with love, because he loved his son Narayana, he received special mercy to develop deep relationship. He wasn't just liberated, but he actually didn't die, but he went to Badarikashram and performed severe austerities and sadhana to develop specific relationship, loving relationship with the Lord. And what is very interesting, why Ajamila was not offensive. This is also paradoxical thing explained by our acharyas. That when Ajamila was a good Brahmana boy, he performed different rituals according to the Vedas. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that this were karma, kanda, more or less. And this is offensive to bhakti, faith in karma. And although he also chanted the holy names that when he performed different functions from the Vedas, because in the Vedas is enjoined that we chant the holy name also, he didn't have faith in bhakti, and that was offense. But when he fell down with the prostitute, he lost his faith in karma. So he was free of offense against bhakti. So when he named his son Narayana, he was already without faith in karma, so he was free of offense. So his name, calling of the name, was Namabhas. It was not Nama Aparat, with this apparat. And so he was free from all sins he committed unknowingly. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, not only at the time of death, but when he named him Narayana. Yes. So, and Jiva Goswami explains that we can chant the holy name of the Lord for millions of lifetimes. If you chant it with offense, will not be liberated or go back home back to Godhead. We remain here. So we should understand that our only hope is to give up offenses. With offenses, it's not possible to develop love of Krishna. And I mentioned before how Prabhupada said about this chocolate. And one of the offenses to the holy name is to remain attached to material things. Although we have heard so many things about it, so many times. So we should therefore try to give up these other material desires, other desires than to serve Krishna. And also whatever we do, we should connect with service to Krishna. And but we should know that it's not in our power to go beyond these obstacles, as I mentioned, Narottam Das Thakur. It's not possible for us to go beyond our obstacles. Therefore, we should pray constantly. Yes. And also, Lord Jesus Christ said so. Pray constantly, never get tired of it. Yes. And these instructions are not just to encourage someone, but it's our only hope to pray constantly, to be connected in the heart. And therefore this Trinada Peace Nichana is so crucial, because immediately when we keep some pride, we cannot be connected with Krishna. We cannot pray, because if I am proud, how can I pray? Then our prayer is just lip service, if I'm proud. Prayer means I realize that I'm helpless, therefore I pray. And if I pray constantly, I'm helpless constantly. Immediately when I think I'm not helpless, I'm proud. And what is the saying? That pride goes before the fall. Something like this. So pride and fall are interconnected, or pride is the cause of fall down. And this fall down may be not so gross that even we can perceive it. We may think that we are just perfectly situated. But if we have a tinge of pride, we are not perfectly situated. So we should give it up. We should pray to give it up. Yes, so that should be our attitude, that we are helpless without Krishna's mercy, and therefore pray for it all the time. Is this answering your question?
Yeah, that's a good answer. Maybe I can add one more nuance.
Yes, please.
That maybe death may not change our consciousness, but the danger of death is
May
often
change.
changing our consciousness. Let's say I'm almost dying from a car accident, then all the perception of my life is reconsidered, and I may go to Krishna consciousness from that point. It happens often to devotees or people.
Yes, that's true. The approaching death can change our attitude, and we can depend completely on Krishna, but not necessarily. I know a devotee from Slovenia, personally, who had a terminal cancer, and before she died, she had a surgery, and before this anesthesia was given to her, the doctor said to her, please think of something pleasant, because it may happen that you not will wake up. And she woke up, and she explained this to the devotees. I were speaking with her about this, and she said that she was thinking what to think about, and then she was thinking about her garden, because she grew very nice flowers in her garden. So she was thinking about her garden when she was given this anesthesia. So that can happen to the devotees even. Can you imagine? So if you're not deep in your sadhana, you may think of, at the time of death, about your garden. Yes. Or anything like this. Yes. So it's dangerous to not to think about Krishna. And Mahavishnu Maharaj, I don't know, maybe you have heard this, he put it in a song. He was explaining how he was in India in pilgrimage, and there was straight road for kilometers, no turn, and then they saw a truck coming from the other side, And this truck was going from one side of the road to another. And they saw it far away because it was straight road. But this truck was always going from one side to another. And then when the truck was approaching, it still went from one side to another. And they didn't know where to turn. And then they turned left to their side very much. And the truck also turned in the same direction. And there was a crash, direct crash. And then suddenly he saw how this truck driver escaped, because usually it happened and people destroyed the truck driver. He escaped, and he saw suddenly his body lying there, and the devotees, and then he saw his whole life, and then he saw how he was a Buddhist. He tried to connect with Buddha, and then finally he saw Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was very strict, and he asked him, "What have I taught you all the time?" And then he realized, "Oh yes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna." And this is Mahavishnu Maharaj. So he didn't remember immediately Krishna. He was given mercy by Prabhupada to remember Krishna. Yes, we should pray for mercy. Therefore, this is the proof. We should pray for mercy constantly. We have questions.
I did raise the hand, but if someone wants to also ask something. Yeah, I just also, one thing is that I wanted to say that I also have heard one story. It was back in the day, written by Radha Vrindavan, the disciple of Shivarama Swami. She is a scholar, she's PhD in theology, yeah, thank you. And like quite a serious practitioner, but she got like some sickness in mayapur, and she was in the hospital. But she said when there is such a pain, like a certain pain, she could not remember not only Gayatri's, what to speak of, like she could not remember. She knew she had to chant, but she could not remember what, you know. She really had this experience, and it was really good. Jananda Maharaj told us to read it even because it was circulating back then, the social networks of devotees. And then she said at certain point, doctor did say like Krishna or something like Hare Krishna, and then later on, she's from Kazakhstan. Later on, she learned that devotees in Kazakhstan gathered to have kirtans. It was Sunday program, and they learned she is in this bad state, and they gathered to have kirtan for her, like to like kind of help. So the doctor, even though he was not at all Vaishnavism, like he said later on, I do not know why I was saying Hare Krishna to you, but it kind of helped, and in the end she came back to the body, though she did see like even Jagannath, whom she worshipped, or like conscious, like Hare Krishna conscious life. And but yes, it's like a lot of the fact that you need to pray. After that, she became more serious, even though before that she was already very,
yes,
devotee.
This is the point. We should pray for mercy. We should not just depend and be in this cheating mentality. Yes, Krishna is merciful. Because if we are not sincere in our surrender, although we are unable to, then Krishna will definitely see our insincerity. This is the main point. Krishna cannot be cheated. We can be cheated by ourselves also, but Krishna cannot be cheated. Yeah, so either we are sincere or not, or at least trying to be sincere. This is also important. At least try to be sincere, really. Then we can be saved.
And that was not a question, I'm sorry, it's just really to highlight, to agree with what you, that it's aligned. But the question was that today you mentioned that indeed, if we want to live in spiritual world, we should try, to the extent it's possible, to live already here in material world. Like this is exalted example that we are reading, that
Raghunath Das.
Raghunath Das had a dream, not dream, but samadhi state when he took Mahaprasad from Radha Krishna.
Yes.
Therefore, it impacted his physical body. There are other cases like with boiling milk or something also that there are signs.
Yes.
And at the same time, I just would like your help because I heard also that in material world for conditioned jiva, now those are not probably conditioned jivas, but for conditioned jivas, not all rasas are available whilst we are still in the body. Like meaning that dasya rasa it's like they compare it with the moon. Dasya rasa is like moon does never turn on the other side. We can see only one side of the moon. Dasya rasa is available. A little bit of sakya rasa is available, but Salim Madhurya rasas are not like available here. Like whilst we're here to conceive, to understand them. So I was just trying to. I know it's out of my league. I'm not having any close even to anartha nivritti, but just to understand this, how do we live in this world?
We should understand that these high levels of prema are not possible within material body. But we can hanker for certain relationship, and we should hanker for certain relationship. And this is exhibited by our acharyas and taught by our acharyas also. And it's a process. It's a raganuga process. And this is a sadhana bhakti. It's not siddha bhakti, the raganuga process. Therefore, it's taught by our acharyas. And we should try and pray for it. It depends on lobha. Tat bhavati madhurya shruta tirata pikshati natar shastri naiktincha tad lobhapati lakshanam. It depends on our lobha means greed, this transcendental greed for certain relationship. We should pray for certain relationship very deeply. But we cannot, of course, desire it really from our heart if we don't know anything about it. Therefore, we should hear regularly and systematically from Bhagavad Gita, first canto, second canto, and so on. Not jump over, but to go deep in understanding, and then naturally will develop desire for certain relationship, and Krishna will definitely reveal himself according to our desire. From Bhakti Yoga paribhavita hritsaroja aseshruti kshita patona nanata punsam yat 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 aurugaya vabhavayanti tatat vapu pranasi satanugrahaya. It's explained in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna reveals himself according to your desire. And also he explains in Bhagavad Gita itself in 4th chapter, Yet mam prapadante tamstateva brajama mama vartmanu vartante manushya vartasara. As you surrender to me, I will reward you accordingly. the same type of relationship I will have with you. So it's very important to go deep, as we all the time explain here, because without this absorption, we will never develop any desire. And this desire comes through the mercy of Krishna and his devotees. So we should try to hear from advanced devotees. Therefore, this association with advanced devotees is so crucial. And also reading of these books are associating with advanced devotees, because Prabhupada is at most advanced devotees, a devotee. So, and also books of our acharyas. Prabhupada himself states in Chaitanya Charitamrita that those who think that they need not to read Sandarbhas and the books of Goswamis, that they are false devotees. This is Prabhupada himself saying this. So we should go deep, and then we'll naturally start to hanker for certain relationship with Krishna and pray for it. Maybe we'll not achieve it now in full-fledged state of it, but we will hanker for it, we will pray for it, we will cry for it, for certain relationship, and definitely meditation will follow naturally. Yes. Therefore, it's important not to be superficial, because this is the most dangerous thing, to remain superficial all the time. We can remain superficial for lifetimes. Don't remain superficial. Don't remain superficial. Go deep. And without crying for Krishna, that this crying doesn't mean with tears, not necessarily. Artificial tears, Prabhupada says, will wash away all conclusions of the Vedas. So we should not shed artificial tears, crocodile tears. We should shed tears in our heart. Krishna, please help me. I'm helpless. Yes. And go deep. It's our only hope. Hare Krishna. You have a question?
I wanted to say thank you for raising many important points in the lecture, from which I found the point of Raghunath Das Goswami giving Krishna katha as his greatest charity, that is a transcendental charity that we must cultivate by reading Prabhupada's books at least 3 hours and minimum 1 hour. And it confirmed what we experienced on the pilgrimage to India. We just came back from the Holy Dham, and we were on the way to Ayodhya from Prayag, and it was for 5 hours sitting in a train what to do, and we started reading Ramayana, and it was wonderful how the whole train filled up with devotees of Ram listening to Ram Katha, and it was really that this Krishna Katha and Ram Katha that can fill the hearts of the people, even read by Westerners who are unqualified, or even recited by someone who's not bona fide in that sense. But just the purification of this katha is very, very much enlivening to the heart, and it can change the heart, and even our pride and our tendencies can be dispelled. And of course, not just to say that, but also to share that we brought some Mahaprasad from Ayodhya, from the Radha Mandir, we were lucky enough to visit, and also some Ganga Jal from the Triveni for you. You can distribute it to the other devotees.
Very good. Right. So yes, this is true dana. Thank you very much. Distribute prasad now. Great.
This is from the tree in the sunrise. And then you can place on another.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Please come and take prasad.
I don't know how it works.
How this can be like this? Hare Krishna.
Jai.
You got something?
I didn't feel.
You didn't feel?
Now I did.
Sometimes maybe on my level it's
What is it?
She's sugar.
Yes.
The playground is on now.
Sorry?
Jai.
Yes, yes. I will give it immediately.
It's very nice.
Taste?
Did you receive it?
No. I didn't receive it.
Yes, you
You did.
just don't feel it. We are so big layer of
Yeah.
You don't need to wash yourself with the.
I will have two friends at home after.
Yes,
I
yes,
guess
of course. And there is some other prasad also. Here.
This is directly from inside the Ram Mandir. When we went to Tikari,
Yes.
there was a person who directly gave it to me. And it's really class tomorrow as well. We can distribute
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes, morning and evening.
Morning and evening. At what time? Morning as usual?
Yes, and evening will be 5:30.
5:30.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
We can distribute
Yeah.
it to all the devotees who are here. Or
Yes.
tomorrow.
There will not be enough.
Sorry?
There will not be enough for all the devotees. We have to split it in
Yes. we can.
with the water.
Thank you very much. Can I take it? Yes. So we can distribute it. Thank you. Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Raghunath Das Thakur ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Gaur Brahmanandi. Hare Krishna.